What's the most important thing in any business? Leads. Is how to get leads, right? You're not gonna make sales if you don't have people to talk to. Doesn't matter what you sell, you're gonna have to pick up the phone and call somebody, but who you call if you don't have leads? How do we become omnipresent? It's very simple, actually. You'll have a lot of different problems that people are searching for a solution. You can find these topics on YouTube and TikTok and all the other competitors. You're gonna use a simple strategy called $1 a day. Most important tool, in my opinion, it's called Keywords Everywhere. It's a Google Chrome extension. You just install it, and then they tell you all the keywords and the volume of searches that they get on a monthly basis.
What's up, podcast listeners? First of all, I want to say thank you for listening to the show and also let you know that I have some exciting news that I don't want you to miss. I'm thrilled to introduce the Brand Up Podletter, which is technically my podcast and newsletter all in one. And you can sign up completely for free at www.thebrandupshow.com. And by subscribing to the Podletter, it actually sounds pretty cool. Podletter. You'll be the first to know when a new episode of the Brand Up Podcast is released. You'll also get exclusive access to all my upcoming guests, behind the scenes in my own business, live Q&A, plus a free Brand Up training, which will walk you through exactly how to start building your own personal brand online while you generate customers for your own business in a predictable and efficient manner. So I hope to see you in your inbox. www.thebrandupshow.com.
You can actually mess things up and nobody would notice it. How many of you agree with that? So that's cool, because I messed up pretty bad this morning on my way here. I realized I forgot my eyeglasses, so I can't see nothing on those slides. So I'll... All right, so we're gonna talk about, you can see that fancy, cool headline. Bottom line is, all of you guys here sell something, yes or no? All right, so by show of hands, I just want to understand how many of you have a local business? Cool, and how many of you sell things online? Cool, so about half and half. This is gonna be perfect. So my specialty is figure out ways to get more leads and pay less for it. And that's it. Now, this strategy works perfect if you're one of these people, you sell some of these services, or anything in between. Getting clients is actually not too complicated, and I'll show you today in a simple process, in a 3-step process, how you can do it. Like, yeah, it's cool getting the words, $1 million and all that. What's funny is I never wanted to be branded as a marketing guy. It just randomly happened. In 2012, that's me right there. In 2012, I immigrated to the States. I'm originally born and raised in Romania, Eastern Europe. So I came here, immigrant mindset, working my ass off, 7 days a week, 3 jobs. 2013, my wife joins me, and obviously I want to give her the best life ever. What happens is, this is a funny story. We were in our honeymoon, and obviously, you want to enjoy your honeymoon. But the problem was, me being employed, my mind was, shit, I'm not making money. I'm here, supposed to enjoy my time with her in Dominican Republic, but I'm thinking, I'm gone, I'm not putting hours, I'm not making money. So that was the first trigger in my head, thinking about how can I make things happen in a way that, and how can I make money without actually being required to be in a specific spot. So coming back, so after 2 years, we saved up about $25,000, and I started what was my first business. That's what I said. I never tried to market myself as a marketing guy. It just randomly happened. I'm actually a business owner at heart. Like, I started the brick and mortar furniture delivery company. It turned up into a full-blown moving and storage operation in just about 2 years. And the funny thing is, 2 years later, so I had my business going on. It was already doing 7 figures. Being an immigrant, you have to deal with a lot of immigrant paperwork. And what happened was, one day I get a mail from United States citizenship saying that I got to leave the country in a week or I become an illegal immigrant. It was some mix-up between my lawyer not sending some documents on time. So here I am, both me and my wife, having this pretty successful business. We have our place, and I have to leave everything behind, or I just risk to be deported, right? And I pack everything in about 48 hours. We buy plane tickets, we put everything in storage. And I was lucky enough to have a partner that could deal with the operation side of things and employees and talking to people here. But for 7 months being back in Romania, I was living on US time zone to just make phone calls all day long. And what happens was, during that time, my company actually doubled. Because I was out of the country, I was not involved in the operation day to day. So I was able to look from behind, what's the most important thing in any business? Who can tell me what's the most important thing in any business, especially when you're first starting out? Leads, is how to get leads, right? You're not gonna make sales if you don't have people to talk to. Doesn't matter what you sell, you're gonna have to pick up the phone and call somebody, but who you call if you don't have leads? So then, coming back, a lot of people started to just ask me questions like, dude, like you were gone for 7 months, how the hell your company actually grew into what it is today? And I started to slowly just chat with people. It didn't even call coaching, consulting, whatever you want to call it. I was just answering questions like, this is what I was doing in terms of traffic, getting leads and all that. So my mission is now to make sure that I can impact as many people as I can. So my podcasts, my videos, to events like this, to make sure that people understand how simple it is, as long as you can put it in practice. So here's what we're going to cover today. Number one, like I said, leads are the lifeblood of any business. I don't care what you sell. Number two is we're going to dive real quick into building a personal brand or a business brand. This is one of the biggest debates in my opinion. And actually I have a funny case study because we're talking about my wife here. So it was the biggest challenge to make sure that things go how it's supposed to, and then how to become omnipresent. So let's dive into the first one. The most important thing to understand is there are stages to how your customers perceive what you sell, your products, your services, and all that. So you got people that know what the problem is. You got people that have no idea what their problem is until you actually educate them. Then you got people that know they need a solution. So those are the people that will go directly on Google and search for the service that they need. And then you got people that actually know your brand. So that will separate it. You probably guys heard already the whole concept of blue ocean, red ocean. All of you guys know. Red ocean is when a market is just oversaturated with your competition is really high. So it's a lot of people selling almost the same thing. Blue ocean is when you come with something new. So your brand is pretty much, regardless if it's a business or a personal brand, your brand is actually the blue ocean. So you probably heard this a lot of times. It's who you know. No, it's actually not true. It's not who you know. It's who knows you, AKA traffic, regardless if it's online or in person. So there are two types of traffic. It's very important to understand the biggest difference because this actually applies in real life, and we'll dive into some actual scenarios. So we got search, which is pretty much Google that dominates 93%. And then you got the second biggest search engine, which is YouTube. But these two are very different. I'll show you in a second how. So let's assume you need a plumber. You go to Google and you first type in plumbers near me. The first one that pops up, whoever is running the best ads, you're gonna click on it, you call them, you need them now, your bathroom is all messed up, you got it fixed, right? If you go to YouTube, are you gonna search for the same thing? Yes or no? No. You're gonna search for something that you wanna do, but you don't know how. So you're gonna search for a solution to your problem, but you don't need it now. So as you can see, even though these two are both search traffic intent, they're completely different types of intent. And then we got what I like to call it interruption marketing. Pretty much all the platforms, all the social media platforms. And why, and you can see these screenshots there, why do I think they should be called all the time interruption marketing is, think about yourself as a consumer. You pull your phone, what do? Doesn't matter if it's Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. You just scroll all day long. Like you never, right? Like you don't go in there to search for, I want to hire a plumber. I want to buy shoes. I want to buy a protein, like doesn't matter. So as you can see in there, I screenshotted some of the best offers because you have to actually interrupt people with a strong enough offer. Some people say you need a strong call to action. I call that bullshit because you need a strong offer to make me stop. I'm not stopping my scroll without seeing something that really gets my attention, right? So both of these categories have organic and paid. This means organic, I shouldn't even call it free traffic because you still have to spend time to put in order to actually get that traffic. But let's, for the sake of just make things simple, we got organic, which is free traffic, and we got paid ads, right? All of you guys know what the paid campaign is, sponsor campaign, ads, all that. Cool. So the biggest options, in my opinion, are these. For Google, you have Google My Business. Any of you don't know what Google My Business is? Google Business Profile. Everybody knows? Cool. Then you got your WordPress blog or website. And then of course you got YouTube and TikTok. The reason that I put TikTok in the search category is actually you can search, especially for the last couple months, you can actually search SEO intent, like search engine optimization intent, how to do things, and also when you want to hire things. So when you want some product demo or things like that, you can actually search on TikTok and it will pop up. And then the other ones, you got Instagram ads, Google ads, Facebook ads, TikTok, and Pinterest. And I'm going to dive into all of them because you can all do a quick search on YouTube and understand how these are ran, but the strategy is important. So like I said, for Google, this is just a screenshot of my wife's eyelash academy. So she runs 2 different businesses, an eyelash salon and an academy, a beauty academy. So this is actually the free traffic that she gets pretty much on a monthly basis. And you can see over there on the right, all the keywords that she's being found. So if you're not using Google My Business to get free traffic, start like today. It's actually not difficult at all. Like you can use Google Maps or regular Google to sign up, and you only need a Gmail account. And then once you do that, you can easily post the same things that you post on your social profile. So everything that you post on Facebook, on Instagram, you can just simply go and post on Google too. It's important to think about the search intent because at the end of the day, Google, it's search intent. So the second most important tool, in my opinion, it's called Keywords Everywhere. It's a Google Chrome extension. You just install it, and then they tell you all the keywords and the volume of searches that they get on a monthly basis. And this applies to Google, applies to YouTube. So think about the things that you do for your customers or the problems that you're solving for your customers. So let's actually dive in. Any of you want to just tell me what you sell? Counseling. So for example, you go on YouTube or you go on Google and you type in counseling, and then they are going to auto-populate a couple of the phrases that people are asking about. And then the moment you click on one question, it's going to open up more questions that people ask. On Google, you have that thing that says other people ask about this topic. And then once you click it, Keywords Everywhere is going to tell you how many people are actually searching for these things. So you don't want to create videos about the things that people don't even know how to ask. Anybody else? Voice coaching. That's a pretty cool one. Same thing. You go on Google, you type in exactly that phrase. It's going to auto-populate the things that people are searching for. If you don't find, let's say, something that has over 1,000 searches, you go to YouTube, and it's going to do the same thing. The moment you just type in voice coaching or how to improve your voice, whatever, if it's about speakers, things like that, it's going to auto-populate all the things that people are searching for on YouTube. So as you can see, this applies to anything that you are selling. Now, this was really one of my biggest challenges. So when COVID hit, my wife had the eyelash salon, and that was one of the first things that got shut down. So she came to me and she said, all right, you keep talking about all this marketing and personal branding thing. Fix my stuff. My salon is shut down. What do I do now? And I'm like, don't worry about it. Let's see what's your skill set. So at that point, she had the salon for about 2 years. And I said, let's go on Google and see what people are actually searching for when it comes to your skill set. So we found a couple ads. The reason that I'm a big believer in really paying attention to people that are running ads, it means that the company is successful and they have a budget to spend. The moment they have that, now you can reverse engineer what these people are doing so you can replicate yourself. There's no point to try to reinvent the wheel, right? So we went to Google and see, is anyone teaching eyelash extension? Like for me, it was completely new. Like I'm a guy, like I never. So I went and saw a lot of different companies actually selling eyelash extension courses. Then I kept diving into this topic and I realized, oh, people are selling courses on Udemy. People are selling courses on Skillshare. All these platforms were doing something that I thought this is just a thing that people will want to learn in person, not actually online. But I was completely wrong. All these companies proved me wrong. Like I said, you go on Google to see what people are selling. You look for the ads. And then once you see exactly what they're doing, then you go on YouTube and see, all right, how are they selling these ads? So yes, you have the ad that you can see exactly what are the things that they're promoting. But then you go on Google and the same company, you can type in their name and then you'll see exactly what they talk about in their content. Then you can identify, I put in here different industries just so you guys see it doesn't only apply to like the beauty industry or to only one specific service. This is in fitness, right? Like you identify relevant videos that have lots of views. Why do you want lots of views? It means it's a demand for that topic. You don't want to start creating stuff that people are not interested in. Then you identify competitor channels, right? YouTube, again, is the second biggest search engine in the world and it's owned by Google. But at the end of the day, they're two completely different intents. Then this is one of the biggest in my opinion. A lot of people don't know this, but you can actually go and you can write this down. It's facebook.com/ads/library. And you can type in all your competitors' names. And guess what? Facebook will tell you and will show you every single ad that they've been running forever. It's almost illegal in my opinion, because if you're spending tens of thousands of dollars on campaigns, why should someone else have access to that? But as advertisers, as business owners, we want to see that from our competitors. A couple of years ago, you would have had to pay a lot of money to a consultant to get this kind of data. Now you can just go in there, you see exactly the ads that they're running. And the most important thing that you want to actually pay attention to is you look at the date that the ad has been running for. If you see an ad that's been running for at least 2 months, means what? Exactly. It's profitable. Otherwise, people will not spend money every single week. Now, one of the biggest things that I see when I share about this, a lot of people go in there and they just copy word for word. There's no point. Like literally, we all know what ChatGPT can do now, right? You just literally take the link or the entire text of the ad that you just identify from your competitors. You just paste it into ChatGPT and you literally tell it to write a better copy, right? Like you can use it for all your ads, headlines, landing pages, scripts, and then it's going to give you all kinds of results back. And you can make it better and better every time. All of you guys know about ChatGPT? Everybody using it? Cool. And in case you don't know what to ask it, you can actually ask ChatGPT what to use ChatGPT for. Like you literally can ask this, what can you use it for in the business that you're in? Any questions about that part? Everything clear? Cool. So let's dive into personal brand versus business brand. So when my wife came to me and said, I want to diversify my income stream, especially when COVID hit, she didn't know exactly what she meant. Once the salons opened up after, I can't remember exactly, I think it was like a year or something like that, I said to her, look, there's only one way. Well, I mean, there are two ways to scale a company. You can either go vertically or horizontally. Before her opening the salon, she used to run about 7 or 8 girls. She used to have a commercial cleaning company. And her biggest struggle is like, she's very attention to detail oriented, like crazy about it. Like every little thing she needs to micromanage. And she was just going nuts with the employees. As we all know, there's no employee in the world that's gonna love your business the way that you do it. And it makes sense. They're not getting paid for that. It's not their problem to actually love it the way that you do. But my wife had a really big problem with that. So she was just taking it personal, right? We sold that company and she used that budget to start her salon. But then I said to her, look, there's only one way. I mean, there are two ways to scale your business. We can either open a salon in every major city, but that means you're gonna have to deal again with 4 to 6 girls in every salon. And she was like, hell no, I don't want to do that. I hate having, I want to have the less amount of employees moving forward. And I said, that's cool. It's actually really good that you know this about yourself. So I challenge you to actually audit yourself and know exactly what type of person you are. Like, do you like chaos? Do you like having employees? Do you like having meetings and all this, right? So what we did, I looked at her and I said, okay, you're just a micro manager type of person. We're gonna scale your business vertically. So we started doing Lash in-person trainings. So every week she has a workshop and she teaches this class for a couple hours. Then we launched a couple online courses, some coaching. She's writing a book now. So we scaled her vertically because that way she doesn't need employees to actually be in person with her. Make sense? So this is what, and this is how we actually differentiated her brand. So first, on the left, as you can see, it's her Instagram account. So she runs the trainings as her personal brand, her name, because she said, I enjoy doing this for, as of right now, for the rest of my life. She said she wants to do this forever. And I said, cool. Then you want to be known for this. There's no point to have a business brand attached just to that. But the salon itself can be sold because it has a different name. It's called Limit Lashes, right? So the salon can be franchised tomorrow. The salon can be sold tomorrow. Somebody else can run it. No other brand, and especially her personal brand, would not be affected, right? So she has a personal brand. All her content on YouTube, the podcast, and everything else, it's attached to her personal name. Then is a salon, which is a business brand and can be sold tomorrow without affecting her personal brand. And then the other source of income, she has a product line, which, yes, it has the same name, Limit Lashes, and it's printed on all the products, but it's an e-commerce brand. That brand can be sold separately tomorrow, and the salon will not be affected, and the personal brand will not be affected. So I challenge you to think in your own business. If you're struggling with, like, do I need a personal brand? Do I need a business brand? What do I do? Think about this. Can you actually cross-promote them? Like, for example, I invest in real estate. I'm a partner in a couple of different companies. Like, I'm a partner with my wife in all these businesses, but nobody attaches all of these to my name. Like, if you would Google my name, you'll not find that I'm an owner of an eyelash salon, right? It's not part of my personal brand, but it's in there, right? So I challenge you to think about this if you plan, or if you're struggling with the idea, like, do I have to have a separate brand for my name versus my business? Now, everybody's talking about this, right? Like, it's a big thing online. But let's actually think about it. Why is it important to have a brand, regardless if it's business or personal. Can anybody tell me? What is it? That's one thing. But if we go back to what I said just a couple minutes ago regarding the blue ocean, red ocean, think about you searching for, let's assume you need a plumber. Think about you searching for plumbers near me, and now you compete with 100,000 other plumbers. It's probably not 100,000 other plumbers, but a couple thousand, versus you searching for Plumbing LLC, which is, another company that has that name. So acquiring leads when people are searching for your brand name, I'm going to show you in a second here, sometimes will cut your lead cost in more than half. Probably even go 3 times cheaper because you're not competing with anyone else. There's no other business, there's no other brand that can compete with you, because it's impossible to have two, not impossible. You might have a couple companies that have similar names, but in theory, you won't have another competitor with the same name. So the most important thing is to understand that concept. That's why you want to focus on building a brand, regardless if it's personal or business brand. So in this case study, we wanted to cut the lead cost in half and get more customers. The strategy was increasing the amount of people that are searching for the business name instead of searching for, this had to do with my wife's business, the academy. So instead of people searching for beauty schools near me, we wanted them to search for Limit Lashes Academy. So what we did is we ran video view campaigns, which are the cheapest, because you can get for like $10 a day, even less than that. You get thousands of views specifically targeted in the zip code that you want to promote your service, especially if you have a local business. And then the content is, you just look on keywords everywhere, and you look on YouTube, and you look on Instagram, and you identify all your competitors and everything that they talk about, and just create better stuff. And now you do this by running video view ads. So as you can see on the left side on the bottom, like I said, I forgot my eyeglasses, so I can't even see what the cost per lead is there, but it was close to 100 if I'm not wrong. The non-brand searches. And then after we finished the campaign, about a month later, the brand aware people that were searching for the name of the business, as you can see, the lead cost went down more than half. So that's the real reason that you should actually focus on building a brand. So again, go back and audit yourself. What's your way of scaling your business? Is it vertically? Is it horizontally? What exactly is that you enjoy doing on a daily basis? And build your business and scale your business around that. Don't just look at your competitors and say, oh, I want to be like that guy, or I want to scale like that dude because he's crushing it online. Maybe you're not made to deal with 40, 50 employees on a daily basis, right? And that's fine. You just have to audit yourself and understand exactly what it is that you're really good at. So how do we become omnipresent? It's very simple, actually. You have in the middle here, what are your dream customers? And then once you identified all the types of content that you can create, so you have a lot of different problems that people are searching for a solution. You can find these topics on YouTube and TikTok and all the other competitors that I showed you in the previous slides. Then you're going to start creating these pieces of content, and you're going to use a simple strategy called, I learned this from a mentor of mine, Dennis Hugh. It's called $1 a day, but technically you can spend more, obviously. And the way that I look at this is, you can spend $1 a day and wait 7 days to get a week worth of data, or you can spend $7 a day and get a week of data in 1 day, or you can double that. And the reason that this is so powerful is you just stop the ones that are not performing, meaning people are not watching, are not commenting, are not clicking, and you just put the budget on the ones that are actually performing. And that's pretty much as simple as that. I'm gonna go through these a little quicker because you can go on YouTube and understand how this is done, but every platform allows you to retarget. Everybody knows what retargeting is, remarketing. Like you go on Amazon and you find a pair of shoes, and then all of a sudden, the next 2 weeks, everything that you see on your phone, doesn't matter where you go, on what site you go, they keep following you around. It's pretty simple. They just install a piece of code. It's called Pixel. It's have different names, but technically you can do the same thing and look like a big brand, even though you might only spend a couple bucks a day. Every platform from YouTube to Instagram to Facebook to TikTok to Pinterest allow you to do this kind of strategy. You just place a little code on your website, on landing pages, whatever you have to promote your services, and then you just run these small budget campaigns. So that's for YouTube. This is for Facebook and Instagram. The cool part about Instagram, actually, you can retarget people that have just interacted with your account. People that followed you, people that clicked on your ads. And you can just show them all these problems that you're solving for them. So you're helping them in advance. And the reason that these ads are so cheap is the fact that you're not asking for anything in return. You just have a solution for their problem. You post a video, it's simple, it can be a reel, 20 second, 30 second, 40 second. And then you run them against people that have already interacted with you. So that's the most powerful way that somebody, so every time when they'll go on your account, they'll see one of these videos, then they'll go to different platforms that they keep seeing you, and they'll be like, what the hell, this brand is like so huge, and actually you're spending $10, $20 a day. Like it's super, super cheap. It's called the know, like, and trust factor, right? Like nobody's gonna give you money unless they trust you. But in order to trust you, they first need to like you. But how do they like you if they don't know you, right? So you have to be well known. Like we just saw in a couple of slides ago, it's not about who you know, it's about who knows you. Now, the last part of this puzzle, am I going too fast? The last part of this puzzle is, what do you do with all this traffic? Like you have all these people that are coming into your business. What do you do with it? All of you guys, I mean, it's pretty much half and half. Some of you guys have local businesses. Some of you sell stuff online. I'm assuming anybody else does not use sales calls. Raise your hand if you only sell product. Straight add to cart. Never. No call? Cool. No calls? Cool. In my opinion, especially if it's higher ticket, if it's a little bit over 1,500 bucks, in my opinion, the easiest way is to sell it through a sales call. Now, I'm not saying that is the only way, but the problem is when you hear people telling you like, oh, you need a marketing funnel, you need this and you need that, everybody's referring to this, which in my opinion is the worst thing that you can start with. Why? How do you, if something doesn't, let's assume you have all these pages, so 3, 5, 8, 9. Let's assume you don't make sales. Where do you go? How do you even know which one doesn't work? You got all these upsells and downsells. Like it's going to take forever to understand where is the missing part, right? The new way, not that necessarily such a new way, but essentially all the traffic that you get, you just need a simple page where you can collect name, emails, and phone numbers. You can either have a 10 to 15 minute quick YouTube video. I don't even want to call it a presentation necessarily, because then you might think, oh, I need slides. You don't need slides. You can just go simply straight to camera and just talk, solving the problem of the thing that you already promoted. So in real life, going back to when we scaled my wife's academy, we had an ad, which again, you're gonna have to identify. In my opinion, if you're a local business, you might want to start with Google. If you're selling a lot of the things through DM, Instagram is your best bet, or through text. The reason that I say that is you cannot master all these platforms at once, because all of them have their own way of optimizing things and responding to different kind of algorithm changes and all that. So it's going to be impossible for you to know them all, right? So you're gonna have to pick one. It all depends on the sales process that you have. Like, especially if most of you sell through sales calls, this is gonna be your best bet. Why? As you can see on the left, we got the ad, which is just a simple Instagram ad. It doesn't even have the link directly. It goes to send a message, and a virtual assistant is just answering the message to make sure that the leads are qualified. You don't want to give everybody the opportunity to book a call with you, because that means, one, you're going to go nuts. Or if you have salespeople, they're going to constantly complain that the quality of the leads is trash. That's why you want to have a little bit of a filter, a virtual assistant that can talk to them before you allow them to book a call. Next thing is just the page itself. So they're going to have to put the name, email, and phone number. They're going to watch the 10, 20-minute video where you solve the problem that you just promised them that you will. And one quick trick that it helped our conversion go up to like probably extra 30 to 35%. Every single student that came into the salon was asked to leave a video testimonial. And in exchange, they were getting a $50 gift card to purchase more products. So all of us, we like to talk about how great our businesses are. We all want to talk about how great we are as leaders, salespersons, business owners. It's a whole different story when your customers talk about your business. It's going to add a whole different level of credibility when you see multiple people, because a woman in their 40s, a woman in her 40s versus a man in his 30s are going to respond differently when they go to a page. I'm not talking necessarily about the beauty industry here, but you get the point. And the reason that you want most of your customers to leave you at least a video testimonial, or at least a review, if not a video testimonial, is when people see a person talking about the service that they might be interested in, they see themselves in that person. So the more people you have that they can talk about doing business with you, buying products and services from you, is going to help your conversion increase tremendously. And then you just give them a Calendly link or any kind of link to book a call. You don't even have, at this point in time, just imagine how many touch points from the first time that they saw an ad until they get on the phone with you, how many touch points they've had. You already solved at least 2 or 3 problems in the first couple videos. Most likely they searched at some point and you popped up, and now they watched you from search. Then you had another video that was following them around on Instagram. Then they saw an ad and they texted you. Now they had another person, which they didn't know, they thought it's you, interacting with them through DMs. Then 6, 7, 8. So as you can see, all these interactions will lead up. It's not even a sales call anymore. It's just a phone call to see what's the date and time to buy from you. Like at this point in time, you don't even have to sell anything. You understand? One, your VA, or if, at first you might have to do yourself all the filtering, which is cool. Once your calendar is booked up, now you want to outsource. Like, don't outsource directly from the beginning, because you're gonna outsource what? You don't even know how to filter yourself, right? So there are a couple of questions that you need to make sure you ask. You sell some business to business, probably gonna want to ask them how much they're making a year, what they want to do, how much they want to grow for. Then once they're with you on the phone, now you understand exactly their last pain points. You're either going to address them right there on the spot, and then you just simply present a solution if it makes sense for both of you. Like, you don't want to enroll everybody, because we all know how these customers, when you enroll in everyone, we all know how that can end up, right? So the truth is, again, after all these touch points, since you don't have to sell anything, it's just a matter of you sealing the deal and going to the next step. So pretty much we talked about today about the strategy. Like first, before you start creating anything that we talked about, before installing all the apps, start with this in mind. You have to understand, one, audit yourself as a person, audit yourself as the business owner, what type of person you are, what kind of growth do you want, how your life should look like, and then design your growth plan around that. I promise you it's going to be so much easier and less painful than if you do it the other way around. Because if you grow a company just for the sake of growing it, the little mistakes that you might be making when you are at 100,000 a year, when you multiply that by 10, because we all think, oh, let's just get to 1 million as fast as possible. If you're making mistakes, bookkeeping, hiring mistakes, all kinds of other stuff. When you're a small company, you can get away with it. 10 times that, it's not going to be as fun. So that's what I'm challenging you to do. First, understand yourself. Know exactly what you want your life to be like. And then focus on growing the business. Thanks, guys. We still got about 4 minutes. So if you guys have any specific questions related to your specific industries and services, feel free to ask away. What industry? Okay. Okay. Simple question. Do you ever want to sell it? Exactly. So that was my question to you. Do you ever want to sell it? If you want to sell it, then you have to find a way, either do a DBA from because the legal name is whatever, it's an LLC, I'm assuming, right? Or corp. Oh. And even when you sell it, most likely the person buying it, it's not going to want to buy the legal entity because that's just a liability. They're going to buy the assets pretty much. So every time like I've done about 4 or 5 transactions in total, not super big, like small 6-figure, 100 to 250,000 acquisitions from a company. I never acquired the actual LLC. We only acquired the customer list, website, phone numbers, the brand assets, and of course, whatever inventory that it was coming with. So even though it's your name, now I would still suggest to maybe do a DBA. So talk to, see if you can, because when you do an LLC, for example, you can do whatever legal name is. So in my wife's case was like Limitless Beauty LLC, DBA Limit Lashes. So, and the DBA is your name? You can change that. You can always change it. Yeah. You can always change it. So you're gonna have to do a little bit of rebrand, in my opinion, if the plan is to exit. Yes, and then of course, rebrand all the socials slowly. If the plan is to rebrand, I would say start yesterday. Because if that's the goal, if the goal is not to sell it, then maybe just franchise it or whatever, and you still want to have that attached to your name, of course, keep it like that if you want to be known for that. But if the plan is to exit, in my opinion, you should start the rebrand as soon as possible. Because it's going to be, at the end of the day, nobody will want to buy your name, right? Like, would you want to buy Tony Robbins as a, like, no, but how are you gonna be able to match, right? Like so it's gonna be hard. So if the plan is to exit, in my opinion, do a rebrand. And then what about the podcast and the rest? Is that So yeah, in my opinion, you just want to separate them as much as you can from a name perspective. Just because if you want to exit it, it just makes more sense. And it's going to be more appealing for a person, because the person that's going to buy might not even be interested in actually running it themselves. They might tell you, like, do you have managers that they can run it for me? So in that case, even more, they definitely don't want like your personal name attached to it, right? At least that's what I did every single time when we're doing it. So only cross promote them if, like I showed you in my wife's case, it makes a lot of sense to cross promote them. But for example, if we decide tomorrow, hey, let's sell the salon and sell the product line, we might not want, because we don't know what's the next person going to do. Or you can also put in terms and conditions, like the last acquisition that we did, we had a 3-month thing to change the name. So we acquired, it's a local brick and mortar, it was a juice bar. So we had 3 months to change the name. So that's possible too. But again, nobody's going to actually buy the legal entity of it. They're going to buy the assets, but it's just going to be more appealing, and it's going to be much easier for you to kind of present the offer to an investor, right? Because it's sometimes it's not a competitor that wants to acquire it. Sometimes it's just an investor that wants to put their money there, because real estate, it's how it is now. So in my opinion, that would be a smart decision. How to install the retargeting, like the technicality of it, like the actual thing. So I mean, you go on YouTube and you literally type in how to run a YouTube retargeting ad. That would be a simple phrase. Yeah, so how to run a retargeting Instagram ad. How to run, like Facebook and Instagram, they're ran from the same ads manager, from the same platform. But the more, yeah, it's the simplest phrase. It's how to run or how to create a retargeting campaign. And look at the ones that are 3 months or maybe 6 months, not older than 6 months, because the platform changes its dashboard like every week. So you don't want to look at one way of doing it 3 years ago, right? Because it's going to not make sense, especially because it's technical. But yeah, how to run a retargeting ad on YouTube, how to run a retargeting ad on Instagram. Yeah, so I mean, depending, the highest the price, the more touch points it's needed to build trust. It's all about the building the know, like, and trust factor, right? So these ads are not, you're not creating ads just for the sake of creating ads, or if you do this for customers, or if you teach this matter, whatever. The importance of having multi-touch points is the fact that like me and you, if we look at one video, we'll respond differently. Like I might bounce after 5 seconds, you might watch it for 3 minutes. You know what I mean? So because of that, you want to make sure that you are on as many platforms as possible. But because a lot of us, most of us, don't have big teams behind, and doing it organically, it's almost impossible to keep this consistency all the time. Like, for example, you don't have to post every day, but having one of these campaigns run on autopilot for $5 a day, it's doable for every person in the room, right? So the reason that I strongly believe it's really important to have this multi-touch point is it increases the trust factor into the person that's seeing the ad. So you see one ad, you're gonna skip it. See the second one, you're like, that's interesting. I didn't even know that I have this problem. Now, so people go from not even knowing that they have a problem to knowing that they have a problem to finding out what's the solution. And now all of a sudden here, they're like, oh crap, I remember this guy. He's been feeding me videos for the last 2 weeks, or maybe a month, or maybe a year. Like, you'll see people, I hear this every day. Even like going back to the case study with my wife, she has students that come to her and say, well, I saw a video on YouTube from you a year and a half ago, and I've been just watching your Instagram stories every day. And you're like, God damn, why it took you a year and a half to book it, right? So people have different goals. They are in different stages of their life. They respond differently. They might not need it now, but they know, oh, I need this, or I might need this service. Let's just save this video, because you just gave as much value as possible in a simple 1-minute video. right? So it's just a matter of building that trust with these touch points and doing it on autopilot. Now, yes, I don't want to just say this to sound cocky in a way of like, oh, autopilot, like it's going to take a while to put on autopilot. It's probably going to take a few weeks to just look at the data, because I can sit here and tell you, oh, this phrase might perform better than the other because it's they have so many more searches. But then you might launch it, and then that topic might just not be your best way of explaining what you have to offer, or your best way to explaining the problem that you solve. That way you go for the second video and the third video. That's what I said, you need at least these 4 types of video when people are not even aware that they have a problem. Now they become problem aware, like, oh shit, I got this problem too, or I've been having it for this many months. Now they know, oh, I need a solution for this, and this is the solution. And then the 5th, 6th, 7th touch point, they'll be like, oh, I remember this dude, what's his name? And now they go, and instead of searching for, plumbers near me, roofers near me, whatever, counseling near me, now they search for your name. And that changes the game completely, because now it's just you competing with you. There's nobody else that competes with that. In my opinion, that should be the one thing to focus on when it comes to like, oh, do I need a brand? It's for this reason. It's because you don't compete with nobody else. So I mean, the landscape changed dramatically in the last 10 years. Like the easiest way to tell them, like, hey, 10, 15 years ago, what kind of companies? A brick and mortar? So a construction company did not have, or a consumer did not have Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, and all these types of Google ads and Google Maps and all these things 12, 13, 14, 15 years ago to choose from. Where do I look for these services, and where do I see a demonstration of somebody power washing or painting inside my house, or remodeling a garage, or remodeling my kitchen? You know what I mean? So the easiest way to explain it is, think about the way that you are acquiring customers for the last 10 years. Like, yes, they might have, and for them it's even easier because they have this huge customer list. You can tell them, like, yeah, we take that buyer list, name and emails and phone numbers, and you upload them to these platforms, and now you deliver ads, which is even more powerful. But the easiest way to kind of put it is, a couple of years ago, consumers did not have so many options to go through. That's why it's this type of strategy, it's actually mandatory, in my opinion. Make sense? It might take a little bit for you to probably master that craft for them to understand it, but once, in my opinion, if you can show them a little bit of an example, that will be so much easier for them to kind of, oh, that's why. All right, this was been read for a while, so thanks a lot, guys.
All right, guys, thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Brand Out Podcast. I hope you found this episode helpful, and hopefully you'll implement it, because knowledge without action means nothing, as we all know, right? Now, if you're inspired to build an unstoppable brand that conquers, sells, and implement a predictable client acquisition system, my Brand Up Accelerator program is here to help you do just that. So what we do inside the Accelerator, it's a 9-step process. So first step is, of course, we have to do an assessment and understand exactly where your brand is at. Do you need help with implementing it within your business, or you need help with separating your personal brand from your business? I think that's really important. Step number 2 is we do a little bit of goal setting, because we have to understand where we are, but then we need to know where we're going to go. Step 3 is we do a brand development strategy. Number 4 is the client acquisition plan itself, because we need to know how we're going to acquire customers, what is the offer looking like, things like that. Step number 5 is the content creation and also the platforms that you need to focus. Some people need to focus just on one, some people need to focus on multiple, depending how big the team is, depending, how many resources they have. Number 6 is collaborations and possible podcast connections. Number 7 is the sales process. Number 8 is paid ads. because up until point 7, we pretty much build the fire, and the paid ads, in my opinion, is literally the gasoline that you pour on top of it. And number 9, we implement and refine because we need to understand what works and do more of that. So if you're ready to take your personal brand and business to the new heights, head over to brandupaccelerator.com to learn more and apply now. Thanks again for listening, guys, and I'll catch you in the next episode.